Angie has made it easier than ever to hire high-quality pros to get all your home service jobs done well. Just bring them your project online or with the Angie app, answer a few questions, and Angie will connect you with local pros who match your specific needs. Or book a service instantly at an upfront price. So join the millions of homeowners who use Angie to care for their homes and get your next home service job done well. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
This episode is brought to you by Snapple. Want to know another Snapple fact? The first hot air balloon passengers were a sheep, a duck, and a rooster. Ridiculous. Check out Snapple.com to find ridiculously flavored Snapple near you.
What was the accident?
The part of the foundation wall collapsed and crushed the fellow.
And killed him?
Yes.
And you were charged with manslaughter based on how you were conducting the construction.
This is the plaintiff, David Milner. He says he testified for the defendant in a criminal case. The defendant won the case. He got fired because he went to court, and now the defendant refuses to pay him for their agreed-upon rate for services rendered. That's right, he got the royal runaround and is out $3,975 and is suing for exactly that today. This is the defendant, William. He says the plaintiff's testimony on the stand was vague at best. It didn't help him out in the least. And he also testified he was not getting paid for his testimony. Now the plaintiff is claiming he worked 35 hours. He most certainly did not and is owed nothing. He's accused of double-crossing an expert.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated, come to order, please.
So did you ever find him angry?
Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Milner, you are suing William. You've asked to be referred to only by your first name, so we'll respect that, for $3,975 for expert witness fees because you testified on his behalf in a manslaughter trial, correct?
That is correct.
All right. Who is it that retained you?
Essentially, I was asked by the defendant's brother-in-law to act as an expert witness.
Was the defendant's brother-in-law the lawyer on the case?
Yeah. No, he was not the lawyer on the case. Okay. He would not basically represent his brother-in-law. But he asked me through this person that had been working for him to act as an expert witness in a construction accident.
Okay. And so did the lawyer who was working on the case enter into a retainment agreement with you?
He did not. We had an oral agreement, essentially asking me to help him understand the construction accident as the trial was going to proceed.
What is your particular expertise that allows you to do that?
I'm an architect since 1977. I'm a construction manager. I'm very familiar with the construction laws, having worked in the School Construction Authority.
At the time, were you working for the City of New York?
Yes, I was. I was transitioning from one agency to another agency. I was contacted in the summer of 2009 by the defendant's brother-in-law, and I was asked to look at the construction drawings.
Are you allowed to do that when you're working for the city?
I work for the city 35 to 40 hours a week. If I do this on the weekends or if I'm not being paid by the city for 168 hours in a week.
But the city didn't see it that way?
Well, the city did not see it that way.
You were charged with manslaughter. Why?
Well, there was a construction accident, and there was a similar accident in the city of New York, which they highly publicized, and they decided that they were going to prosecute me and this other people in the city just for news.
The accident that happened on your construction site was what? You own... do you own a business or a house on one lot?
Well, I owned the house on the lot.
All right. Do you rent it out or did you live there?
No, I rented it out.
And then you owned the adjacent lot.
Yes, correct.
And you were constructing on the adjacent lot.
Yes.
What happened?
Well, we were building close to the existing house.
Closer or literally adjacent?
Well, actually, you were literally adjacent.
Literally, they were sharing a wall.
Right. And the house was over 100 years old, and it had a very bad foundation. And tried repairing it before doing the excavation. While we were doing the excavation, going down, repairing it, and it seemed to be holding okay. But we did have a lot of rain and probably soaked the bricks and stuff. There was a brick foundation, soaked them, made them heavy and unstable, and there was an accident.
What was the
it collapsed.
accident?
The part of the foundation wall collapsed and crushed the fellow.
And killed him?
Yes.
And you were charged with manslaughter based on how you were conducting the construction, correct? You were found not guilty.
Yes.
Okay, but it was the prosecutor's contention that the way in which you conducted the construction was unsafe for the worker.
Yeah, but he made up a whole lot of stuff and embellished on it and things that made no sense because he's not a construction guy. And
did you ever meet with him?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and I imagine that when you're launching a defense, people are talking to you about what it's going to cost you, right? Nobody's surprising you with bills without having talked about it with you. No. I mean, when you hire an expert, normally you got to pay the expert.
I don't know the deal with my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law is also an attorney, and he did a big construction site. So he's involved in construction. So I don't know the deal they made with him. But
your lawyer didn't tell you we'll have to pay X for this fellow?
Well, this is like 6 years ago. I don't really remember exactly what he said. But my brother-in-law said he was going to take care of it or something, and the lawyer, I was paying the lawyer, so I think it's come out of his fees.
Why don't you have a written agreement?
At the time...
was this your first time acting as an expert?
Basically, it was my first time as an expert witness. And my friend...
It's a $4,000 expert witness contract where you have to keep... I'm not talking. Where you would have to keep track of your hours and bill them as your, and give somebody... I mean, there should be a lot of paper here, not just paper at the end. So the state of New York, though, alerts you, a supervisor or somebody, how do they find out that you're testifying? Did it come out in the paper?
Prior to trial, they wanted me to submit my resume as to the ADA, the Assistant District Attorney, for their review.
So he or she blew the whistle.
So they saw that I'm a city employee.
They're like, what? Wait, he works for the city? He works for us? And we're going to cross-examine our own employee? The whole thing's a little seedy. I mean, it would have occurred to... I was a government worker all my life. This kind of isn't the idea. But that's not what concerns me the most around here. What concerns me a lot more is that when I read your testimony, you actually said I'm not getting paid.
I was actually going to receive a check from William on May the 9th, which was the day before I was to testify on trial. He had actually produced a check, and we met at the Village Hall in Atlantic Beach, where we were going to go over the case and the testimony. And approximately a half an hour before I was to meet with Mr. William and his attorney, I got a call from the chief attorney from the Conflict of Interest Board. And even though it was a criminal trial and there's nothing in the Code of Ethics or New York City law stating that I couldn't accept payment, he felt it would appear to be a conflict of interest if I accepted.
I think he's right, but I understand what you're saying, but I think he's right. So what did you do?
As long as I was a city,
don't pay me yet.
I said, essentially, I could not accept a check. And that's what I said.
What does that mean?
I could not accept a check.
You could accept cash?
I would think so, but that wasn't said.
Oh.
It was stated that I could not accept a check. And
wink, wink, like you got to pay me under the table because I can't get caught?
Well, again...
Because you did tell your bosses that you weren't going to get paid, and then you're suing to get paid, and you're saying you were supposed to get paid, but you were saying you were doing it as a favor. That's what you told your bosses. I've read your texts and emails back and forth to your bosses, that you're not going to get paid. Essentially, it's a favor. That's what the definition. Well, what do you mean more of a favor? You said essentially it's more of a favor, and then they ask, I'm not familiar with the phrase more of a favor. What does that mean? Well, it means that I'm doing it, without getting paid. That's what a favor is. And yet you're telling me that you were always supposed to get paid. You testified at the trial that you weren't supposed to get paid. They asked you whether you were whether you were getting paid for your testimony. Your answer is no. But I know, because I'm not stupid, that you were going to get paid. That you're a liar then, and you're a liar now.
I didn't lie.
So what do yeah, you're such a liar. You know you were supposed to pay for expert testimony. Are you kidding me? You think that this was going to be for free? Did you have any other expert witnesses?
No.
How many years in jail were you facing?
15, I think it was.
Look at that, 15 years. One expert witness, guy testifies, you walk.
I walked because I didn't commit a murder. It was a construction accident.
Okay, just a second, pal. The only evidence that you didn't was him.
But,
were you supposed to meet him with a check and you had the check and then he said, no, I can't take the money right now. I'm in hot
that's
water.
true, but it was a $2,000.
Okay, so if it's true, how can you look me in the eye and tell me you were never supposed to pay for his expert testimony and it was a favor?
Well, it wasn't $4,000.
What was your check for?
$2,000. But he said he can't take it. I says, okay.
Well, was a check for $2,000 because that's what you had worked up to that point?
It was for the amount on the invoice, which was $3,975.
Do you have an invoice that you gave them before, that you had presented, that you can show me that you presented the day before the trial?
Yes.
Do you have an invoice that he presented to you?
No, he never gave me an invoice.
You got fired, right?
Yes, I was terminated.
You got terminated exactly for this.
Well, I believe that would be the reason. We did file suit through my municipal union.
And what happened?
They ultimately settled with us.
Can you disclose the terms or no?
No.
What was the action that you filed?
Basically, they denied me of my First and Fourth Amendment rights. I was subpoenaed to testify. I had tried to get out of the testimony, but the defense attorney for Mr. William stated he was going to call for a mistrial for basically not allowing his only expert witness to testify.
That wouldn't be your problem. I mean, that would be somebody else's problem.
Well, it was my problem because I was told...
It was your problem because you wanted $3,975,
No.
pal. It has nothing to do with you upholding the integrity of New York City.
The money was really not that issue.
Well, it apparently is something now. So why is it now? What changed?
I want to close this out on a philosophical basis.
On a philosophical basis?
Correct.
Tell me that.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, should this expert witness, this plaintiff, get his money or not?
No, he lied.
He did lie, but he did testify for the guy. In fact, he was more effective for the guy by lying.
But he lied, so he shouldn't get his money.
Okay, what do you say?
He rendered his services, so he should be paid for it.
Even if he lied to the jury in doing it?
Even if he lied.
Interesting. You're going to be the tiebreaker.
I think he shouldn't get paid. He was under oath. He's not supposed to lie, so why should he get paid?
Okay. I'll explain why that's an interesting theory, going inside the courtroom.
I happen to feel that as a result of my actions, which I felt was basically pursuing justice for an individual who I felt was being unjustly charged with very serious crimes, and this activity goes on, the concept of taking a permit out and doing the work with somebody else's insurances goes on a continuous basis in New York City.
When you talk about pursuing justice, Mr. Milner, let's talk about pursuing justice. You misled a jury and a court and your boss about whether or not you had struck a deal to be paid. You misled the jury. See, when a lawyer cross-examines you and says, "Are you getting paid for this?" The idea is that there is paid testimony and there is free testimony. Free testimony comes from the heart because you believe in something, and that's very compelling if you're a trier of fact. Paid testimony, the lawyer gets up and argues he's a hired hand. This is how he eats. He makes his living this way. So if somebody's going to hire him to say something, he's just going to say it because he got $4,000 for it. You hid from the jury and the judge that you expected $4,000 and were about to get it paid 24 hours earlier. But you want me to give you justice? Do you know what justice is? You not getting what you want. Even if it hurts me that you get to slide. The worst evil between the two of you, don't talk, is you misleading a judge and a jury. I'm not going to help you to get your dirty money.
We told the jury he wasn't getting paid, and that's exactly what he got. So step right over here next to me and face this way. What's your thought on this?
Well, my thought is, one, the judge would not let me speak, and obviously once I didn't get paid. I was still a city employee. But once I was no longer a city employee, my agreement, my statement, and I had not been paid at the time, was ended. I no longer had an obligation not to get paid.
Sir, if you would. Thank you.
All right, so what's your, first of all, let me just, what do you have in your mind here?
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I think the judge was extra hard on him. And that DA that we had the court case, he was extra hard on him, getting the guy fired. I actually feel bad for him. You know, I thought that she was going to give him a little something, you know. And
yeah, well, she's not too happy with you either.
I don't know why I didn't commit a crime, then. That's what the jury thought. And
no, but you made a deal to pay the guy secretly, and then you didn't pay him.
Well, yeah, that actually happened, but he did pay that bill very badly. He didn't work 40 hours on it. And
whatever. Harvey?
Okay, Kurt, so what this gentleman said, there's a term for it, and it's called unclean hands, which means you can't come into the courtroom and say, I want my money in a transaction where you were dirty. And he's kind of dirty, and he didn't get paid. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Angie has made it easier than ever to hire high-quality pros to get all your home service jobs done well. Whether it's routine maintenance, an emergency repair, or a dream project, Angie lets you compare quotes from multiple local pros, browse homeowner reviews, and even book a service instantly. Angie's been connecting people with skilled pros for nearly 30 years. So the next time you have a home project, bring it to Angie to get your job done well. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
This is the plaintiff, Gina D'Amato. She says the defendant's black Labrador retriever, a vicious beast, attacked her poor 5-year-old pit bull named Olivia, and he refuses to take responsibility for her dog's injuries or pay her vet bills. She tried to keep peace with the defendant, but he's a stubborn man who needs to be sued for the $1,999 she is owed. This is the defendant, Harvey Halperin. He says he shared a backyard with the plaintiff's mother, and they had an unwritten rule. When the gate was open, it was okay to let your dog in the yard. When the gate was closed, it meant there was another dog in the yard and you'd have to wait. Well, the gate was open. He let his dog in, and the plaintiff's dog started to tussle with his. And here they are. He's accused of being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. This is a switch. The plaintiff is suing because the defendant's Labrador attacked her pit bull. But the defendant says the plaintiff and her dog weren't following the known rules. It's the case of poor, pitiful me.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Ms. D'Amato, you and your mother, and you're here representing your mother, you have power of attorney?
Yes.
Are suing your mother's neighbor, did I get it right? Mr. Harvey Halperin, for $1,999 in vet bills for 2 different attacks that you say occurred at the residence by his dog to your dog.
Correct.
That was visiting.
Yes.
All right, tell me what's going on.
All right, so the weekend of June 14, 2014, I was going out of town, and my mother agreed to dog sit my pit bull, Olivia.
Again.
Hold on.
Excuse me?
Babysit the dog.
She can babysit the dog all she wants. That's her property. She can do that. Then don't interrupt. Go ahead.
Okay. So again, she agreed to dog sit Olivia. My mother also has a dog, and they grew up together. They're best friends. So Olivia gets very excited to go to Grandma's for the weekend. I have pictures of the yard. My mother verbally told the defendant that Olivia was visiting Saturday to Sunday, due to the fact that his dog is aggressive.
Where's your mom?
Right now.
Yeah, so why isn't she here to testify?
Health reasons. She's not able to attend. She just finished her last round of radiation and chemo.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, good luck.
So, with that being said, I received a call Sunday, June 15th, during the evening. My mother called frantically stating that Tyson, a chocolate Labrador, got into her part of the yard.
That's Mr. Halperin's dog?
Correct. And attacked Olivia.
Wait, here's what I don't get, because I'm kind of confused. Can you come up to this sketch and kind of tell me who lives where and where the gates are and all that?
Okay, so this is where I would park, and I would walk up. This is the defendant's entrance, the side of the house. He has a little section for his dog, and my mother's entrance is actually in the back of the house. So
okay, hold on. You just drew a section in orange on the right. Is that fenced in?
Yes.
Between here and here, it is fenced in. This is not. This is all.
Is this area fenced in?
No.
Yes.
Then why did you just go like that?
That's like a grass section for his dog.
Okay, now, so the dog is going to respect a non-fence? I don't know what you mean. This is his door. Where does your mother put her dogs?
Her side of the backyard.
Oh, okay. So
Yes.
so it doesn't really matter. All right, so there's a gate here in between her side of the backyard and his side of the backyard. And do you guys use, like, you respect that and you just use your side of the backyard and she
The
just
backyard is for everyone who lives in the house, the 3 families.
Are they separated by a gate?
Yes, they are.
Okay, so there's a section for you that has a gate and there's a section for her, but you're saying you're allowed to go into her section, she's allowed to
It's
go
not
into
her section. They have
Okay.
to walk past my section to get to their
okay.
house.
They can't even get out of the house unless they go through that
Right.
section. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So she advised that Tyson got into the backyard and a vicious
Do you
dog
have a
fight.
picture of the gate that's in between these two spots?
Yes, I do.
So she advises that Tyson got into which backyard?
I don't know what
Her
to call it.
side,
Her
which
side
she
of the
says
yard.
they're all everybody's
Right,
side.
right.
It is
All right.
everybody's side.
Well, I don't know. Do you have anything from the landlord? Does either side have anything from the
No,
landlord?
The landlord was supposed to be here today, and he's not.
Do you have an affidavit from him?
No.
Which is the gate? You have photographed. This is your mother's?
That is
your mother's. We'll put that in quotation marks.
No.
Your mother's?
That is the defendant's entrance to his apartment. That is his section of his yard.
Okay. How does your mother get out of the house?
She has to walk through
his property that you're calling his property, his side?
It's everybody's property.
Okay,
It's not
I need
mine.
you to stop. I don't know what language to tell it to you in.
It's very frustrating. Your Honor.
I don't care. Control your frustration.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead.
The reason of why I wanted to explain that we actually have to walk by.
Which is the gate that is on the top of that drawing? Is it this one?
That
No,
is
that's
the
the
first
other one.
gate, correct.
Is it this one?
Yes. That I am standing in her side of the yard.
Wait,
for
so
that.
the gate is wood?
Yes.
Yes.
And what kind of a closing mechanism does it have?
Just a regular latch.
All right, so what happens? Your mother calls you and tells you that there's been an attack.
Yeah, there was a vicious attack.
Did you get there?
I got there. I rushed right from Jersey. I got there approximately 9 p.m. Sunday night due to the fact that she had a giant hole in her chest and multiple lacerations on her face. I immediately took her to the closest ER.
Had your mother actually seen the
witnessed the fight?
Yeah.
Yes, and I do have her
Do you have an
testimony.
affidavit from your mother?
I do.
That's not true.
Okay. At the time of my signing my lease agreement, do you have her lease agreement?
I do not.
And moving into my new residency, it was agreed upon, I need to have evidence of that I would have the only access and use of the backyard, considering that is where the entrance to my apartment is located. What reason would you have to go to that backyard?
It's where my dog played before Lisa moved in.
Did you move in first?
Yeah.
Oh, Lisa says she moved in October 2013 and you became a tenant February 2014. That's not right?
That's not so at all.
When did you become a tenant?
I have no memory, Your Honor. I just got finished with 14 months of chemo.
Oh, I'm
and
so
my
sorry.
memory is just sucked out of me. When did I move there?
Do you have your lease?
No, there's no lease.
When leaving and entering my apartment daily, I would need to walk through his fenced-in section, also passing his door, which he would leave open at all hours for Tyson to have access to the outdoors. When needing to pass with my dog, Muggsy, I would have to communicate my presence in order to prevent a dog fight. So you didn't witness the first one.
I did.
Your mother signs this affidavit saying that in the June 2014 event that she runs outside to hear barking and growling, and that his black lab was in what she calls her part. And after attempting to break the dog fight herself, she screamed for help and he eventually came. Okay, so now fast forward to the last event, which occurred in what month?
This was almost a year later of May 2015. Friday afternoon at 1 p.m. I received a frantic call. She said that another fight occurred between Tyson and Olivia, and the only way to break up the fight was with a water hose.
And was that again on that part of the yard?
Yes. She's seen the defendant standing behind on his property side of the fence, and he was actually smoking marijuana, making comments such as, "I knew my dog could take on a pit bull." So, with that being said, when I arrived, I asked my mother to please call the police. She did so. I do have a police report.
Let me see the police report.
Sure.
Did you call animal control officer?
I did.
Do you have their report?
It actually had to get subpoenaed through the court system. I could not get a copy of it.
Complainant reports she rents the rear of the above house and the tenant who rents the front keeps leaving the common gate open. What reason do you have to go to that side anyway again?
To let my dog out to run and play.
Why doesn't your dog run and play in your side?
Because it's tiny.
Does your dog go out there and run and play regularly when Olivia's not there, when her dog is not there?
Yeah, with Muggsy, yes. They
So
get
your
along
dog
very
and
well.
Muggsy, so that gate is always left open?
If Olivia's not around, that gate was usually left open.
What does usually mean?
That was the agreement we had. If the gate was closed, Olivia was around.
And your premise on why he's responsible for all of the vet bills is because it happens in your mother's side, quote unquote.
Correct.
Okay. You know, she claims you were out there smoking marijuana joint.
Well, not that pertinent to this case, Your Honor.
Oh, but why is that pertinent to this case? Because I'm trying to figure out who left the gate open.
The gate was open when we went out.
Your Honor?
Yeah.
The defendant also stated that when the responding police officer came, that he admitted...
I mean, it's possible that if you had been smoking a little...
I smoked pot because I suffered tremendously from pain from cancer. I get oxycodones by the gross every month.
By the gross?
And I smoke, I get 240 of them.
Okay. 240 every month?
Yeah, I take 6 a day. I'm in extreme pain 24/7. And the only thing that really works, Your Honor, the oxycodones take the edge off. I smoke pot and I get high and I have no pain. So I smoke pot. I don't rape anybody. I'm not abusing children. I'm not abusing a dog.
I was worried about
that. I smoke in a joint. I didn't hear what you said, sir.
I didn't say anything. I was nodding when you said... Oh, I said that I wasn't accusing you of raping or doing anything.
So I smoke pot. Big deal.
All right.
It's almost legal in New York.
Almost.
Okay, so if 2 dogs are off a leash and one dog bites the other, should the person who owns the dog that bit be responsible for the other person's vet bills?
Absolutely. It's their dog. They're responsible for what their dog does.
But dogs do what dogs do when they're off leash, right?
It's their responsibility to teach their dog. To train their dog better.
You buying what she's saying?
100%. The owners are always...
Even if both dogs are off a leash and dogs are just being dogs?
They both is at fault. Yeah.
Would you give one vet bills over the other?
Yes.
Oh, good, because we were out of time. I thought you were like playing Jeopardy here, going inside the courtroom.
I want to know, when the police get out there, your mother tells them, complainant reports she rents the rear of the above house. Your mother said that the tenant who rents the front keeps leaving a common gate open. They both have dogs. She reports her dog was attacked by the other dog. Her daughter now has to take the dog to the vet. What's it like over there now?
The bank took the house over.
So who is the landlord now? Did they sell it, or is the bank?
We're out of the house. Everyone moved.
Everyone's out of the house.
As of about 30 days ago, yes.
I ask myself this. I've got a man saying I didn't open the gate, and the gate closure is the thing. And your mom is not here. And I understand you have an affidavit, and I understand she has a good reason for not being here. But regardless of whether you're here in the People's Court or in another courtroom, your mom is not here to testify. And we relax the rules in small claims, and we say, okay, they're not lawyers, they don't know, they might have got an affidavit for this issue or that issue. This is the whole case about how everything, what the custom was between the two of them, whether she closed the gate or didn't close the gate. And I'm supposed to look at him and say, pay this lady $2,000 based on a piece of paper where I don't get a chance to cross-examine her? I have a chance, and that's the whole idea, is that the judge is there to look at the whites of their eyes and get to the truth of what's going on. And I have a very, very real disagreement about what the custom was between the two parties, or who let... I have a disagreement about what the custom was, because your mother is now saying that I was led to believe I had total unfettered private access. Well, then put a lock on that thing that only you can control if that's the case. I don't think that's the case. I think that's the case on a piece of paper where I can't grill her. But based on what is in front of me, my verdict in this case is going to be for the defendant. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
Well, the judge can only go by what the litigant gives her to work with, and you just didn't give her enough to work with to rule in your favor. So what's your reaction to how this comes out now?
It's unfortunate that my mother is sick and she wasn't able to attend today. I provided more than enough evidence that my dog was attacked on numerous occasions, and it's unfortunate that this is animal abuse. Some people should just not own pets. It's unfortunate.
Okay, all right. All right, documents wait for you right there. And so come on out here. And you're giggling and chortling, and what's your feeling on the outcome here?
Justice was served. Their 2 dogs attacked my dog. Simple.
All right, so what's life like that around there now? What's life like around there now?
Well, everyone's out of the house. The bank took the house.
So you're good now? You got the run of the land now?
Yep.
No one bothering you now?
No.
No pain?
No.
All right, good. Harvey?
Okay, you know, judges are allowed to consider custom, but in this case, there's no real proof of what the custom was, so that's why the ruling was the way it was. Now, we'll do it for this case litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Kia Conway. She says she went to the defendant to get Senegalese braid twists in her hair. They fell out almost immediately, and she wants a refund. She wasted 7 hours in the chair at the salon. She wants the $180 back it cost her and is suing for just that today. This is the defendant, Claudine Tahori. She says she told the plaintiff the twists wouldn't last very long because she had short hair. The plaintiff insisted on doing it anyway, then a few days later demanded a refund. Well, she's sorry, but she doesn't do someone's hair for an event or function and then give a refund 3 days later. She's accused of causing a hairy situation.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff got braid twists in the defendant's salon. The twists fell out almost immediately, but the defendant says the problem was the hair was too short. It's the case of the twisted sister.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Ms. Conway, you are suing Claudine's hair braiding, represented here by the owner, Claudine Tahori, for $180, a refund of what you paid her to put extensions, braids in your hair that, according to you, didn't hold up. Talk to me.
So on Tuesday, July 28th, I called her shop and asked her if she was able to do my hair that morning. She said yes. I live about 30 miles south of her.
Have you had your, really, that? Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you had your hair done there before?
Years ago, I used to go to her.
Okay.
So she said yes, so I came there.
Did you have a particular event?
Well, I was going to my uncle's funeral the next day. It wasn't, you know, for that. I just wanted to get some braids in my hair, something different.
Okay.
So I get to her shop. She greets me, you know, almost immediately, has me sit in her chair, and I asked her specifically at that time, because my hair is much shorter than when I used to go to her. And I said, "Are you able to braid my hair?" Her exact words to me, yes, I can do it, I can do it. So I sit down. Claudine starts braiding my hair initially, and she started in the back. My hair was much longer than it is now, but my hair, she started braiding the back. Then another lady comes in and starts doing my hair. And then another lady comes in and starts helping her do my hair. Either way, the whole process took about 7 hours.
Wow, I shudder to think of how long it would have taken if the other two hadn't joined in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was very tight. It was very painful. They're both
Have you ever had your hair braided before?
Yep. So after, you know, the 7 hours of getting my hair done, I went home. The next day I had to go to Maryland for my uncle's funeral. So as I'm driving down the turnpike, I run my fingers through my hair, and one of them is in my hand. So I'm like, okay, let me go down here, do what I have to do, and then I'll come back and have her repair that, you know, when I get back. So then I attend my uncle's funeral and wake, all that. The next day, even more came out, but this time it was more than one. It was like maybe 2 or 3. So, okay, I call her and I'm like, Claudine, the braids are coming out, you know what I mean?
And this is day what, 2?
This is day 2 now. So I'm like, the braids are coming out. Are you able to fix them and give me a partial refund? Oh, I can give you $20 back is what she told me, and then you can drive back up here and get it fixed. That was fine. The following day, even more had came out. So then I'm like, I'm gonna call her back and I want a full refund. I don't have the time or energy or gas money to keep driving 30 miles each way to get one repaired. At this rate, I'll be driving up there every day to get them repaired. So I call her and no, I'm not giving you a response. I'm not giving you a refund. I can only fix them for you. And then she hung up on me. So after that, I decided that I was just going to take it to court.
So what do you think happened? Why do you think the hair was falling out?
I told her, when she told me the start she want to do it, I tell her the price. And I say, your hair is short, so I can do it, but you can keep longer. She said she won't do it because she had to go somewhere.
Wait, you told her your hair is too short.
It's too short. So we can do the style.
You can do it, but
you can keep longer.
You can't keep it a long time.
No, long time. And after a couple of days, she called me. She said she was complaining. I said, no problem. You can come back. I'm going to fix it. And she said, okay. And 2 days before, she called me back. She said, no, I don't have time to come back. I need my money back. I said, honey, I can give you your money back. Anytime, any day you have time, just call me and come. I'm going to do it. Because I have in my shop, I say no refund. So
you have a sign that says that?
Yes.
Do you have a picture of that?
I have a sign with me.
You have the sign with you?
Yes.
A picture of the sign or the sign?
The sign.
Well, is anybody getting their hair done now in there? They're not going to know.
Because it was two, so I left one over there, and I took this one to come.
Did she have that sign up?
That wasn't in there when I was there, Judge.
So what are you saying? She just made that sign for court?
No,
I did not see. I would have seen that big yellow sign.
I have some pictures.
See if you have it. See if you have pictures in your phone.
I didn't see that sign. Not that.
Okay, we're almost out of time. Will braids fall out if hair is too short?
Yes, I'm suffering from that problem in the back right now.
Okay, expert testimony down here, going inside the courtroom.
Where was this sign? Was this particular sign up?
Yes.
How? Because there's no staples, there's no tape, there's no...
No, it's not this one, because this one I have like 3 copies.
In any event, you were willing to fix it, and you were not willing to drive out there because it started to occur to you that you may have to drive out there more than once. But did you ever go and get it fixed by somebody else?
No, I ended up taking them out myself 6 days after having them installed. It wasn't even a full week, and I had lost about 15 to 20 twists had came out.
Okay, and do you have any proof of how many twists you lost?
I have the actual twists that came out. I say.
Okay, but you could have done that 2 months later. Like, didn't you take pictures?
Yeah, I have pictures as well.
And you took them at the time when the problem was happening? Okay.
At the time. Give those to her. And the only way to take them out is to cut and unravel them. I have the ones still intact that came right out.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, like they're
let me see that.
intact, like they slid out of my
First
head.
of all, I have no idea why you're doing anything because you are so rocking those glasses and that short hair.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, you have the perfect face for that. You have, my middle daughter has that square face. It's perfect for the exact glasses and the exact do that you have going on.
You.
I don't know why you would sit 7 hours anywhere. All right, so these are...
Like, in order to take them out, if you're, like, taking them out your hair, you have to cut them. Those are the ones that are intact. They just slid right out.
Well, I mean, her position is not that they didn't slide out. Her position is that she told you they could because your hair's too short, and that she warned you there would be no refunds under any circumstances, but that she would fix it.
Judge,
right? That's what you're saying.
Judge,
you don't, wait a minute. You don't doubt that they fell out. You're just saying, I told her that her hair was too short. She said she didn't care, which you have a disagreement about whether it went down that way.
I was ready to repair because it's not, I know her so long time ago. Since I opened the shop, I never have problem with her. So I was ready. Any customer, when the customer complained all the time, say, come back, I'm going to fix it. I think she finished with her business, so now she needs the money back, that's it.
I mean, these are definitely the full Monty falling out. All right. I don't think that these should be falling out at this rate unless she warned you and you didn't care. I don't believe she warned you. I don't. Because I don't think that you'd have the hubris to come to court. Right. If she warned you, then you knew you were taking your risk. You would have just gone and gotten them fixed and tried to make it last as long as it can last.
Right.
I think it probably looked more like this. Your hair is short. Yeah, is that going to be a problem? No, I think it'll be fine. Nah, you know, like that's how it works. Like somebody, you're there to do your hair. She wants to help you. She wants to make you beautiful. She wants to do, you know, there's no disclaimer where you say, I am aware, from now on, when you're going to do a $180 7-hour job on somebody and it's going to fall out, you should make them sign the receipt and say, I'm talking. I know my hair is short and this may not last or something, because I'm having a hard time thinking somebody's going to stand there and say, yes, let me go through all this just so I look good for this one funeral and then have it all fall out. And then all of a sudden change her mind and decide, what is she, like she doesn't have something better to do than to come here to try to get her refund? You know, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to award the entire refund back. I'm going to order part of it back. I'm ordering the defendant to pay back the plaintiff the amount of $100. That's my verdict.
Thank you.
All right, both sides, hold on right there, please.
Well, the defendant's out here first. The hair lady, you get to keep some of it.
Yes.
Refund some of it. Fair ruling?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm feeling so sorry for this one happened because she's one of my best customers. So, you know, I'm just thank you and everything going to be fine later.
She maybe used to be one of your best customers. You think she still is?
She's a good girl. This one happened.
Why'd they fall out?
Because the hair is short.
Why'd you put them in then?
I told her, but she won this star.
Maybe you should say no next time. Okay, head around this way. Yeah. I know, I wasn't joking. Should she have said no?
She didn't say no.
Should she have?
Yes, absolutely. She should have if she couldn't do the job, absolutely. She's a professional, you know.
All right, she says you're one of her best customers.
Yeah, used to be.
Yeah.
You satisfied with what you got back?
I am.
Having to split it that way?
I am. I think it was pretty fair.
All right, so you're going to stick with the short hair look now?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, good. Harvey?
Okay, Kurt, you know what? The judge used something even more powerful than evidence in this case, which is common sense, that the plaintiff wouldn't have gone through all this time and trouble if the braids would have only lasted a day or two.